Welcome to National Park Wild. I'm Eric, continuing 2020 Park Recap, where I recap all of the national parks I went to in 2020. Continuing in Grand Canyon. I mentioned on my first day I hiked the Bright Angel Trail and had a great time. Second day we went back to the overlooks, and we did look down to Bright Angel Point and other places we did on the hike. It was quite interesting to see the same places we had gone to on a very grueling hike from a different perspective. We were planning to leave Grand Canyon today and see a couple of other sites in northern Arizona, but before we left Grand Canyon, we had a bit of a visitor at our campsite. Right across where we were sleeping was an elk. Unfortunately, there was a man letting the elk drink water from the tap area that they had. And for those who don't know, you are not allowed to give elk food or water, or any animal for that matter. This is because it makes them more dependent on humans for food, and they will die because they're not getting their own. So this is a law. Unfortunately, some people did not obey it, but it's a common thing in national parks. And we can all help by contributing and obeying these laws. The elk sighting was really cool, though. I enjoyed seeing it. These people are also way too close to it, but let's steer away from the people for a little bit. Grand Canyon is a park that seems to have a lot of elk all around it. The day before, we had seen quite a few right outside the camp. There were a few notes about a rabid elk at the visitor center that morning, so it was closed, and all sorts of other stuff. The elk are a very cool, majestic animal, and Grand Canyon was the first park where we saw any on this trip. I always enjoy seeing them. But after that, we went out of the Grand Canyon National Park and began taking a long drive to Glen Canyon Page area. But before we got there, we stopped at Sunset Crater Volcano and Wupatki National Monuments. Two beautiful places. Sunset Crater has massive mountains, lava beds, some hikes, and this cool black lizard that we saw. I really did enjoy it and thought it was a really overlooked attraction. We were not planning on going there originally. It's just that it was not that far out of the way. It's really pretty though. Like, look at this mountain, look at this lava bed. It's really, really cool sight. I'm a sucker for volcano geothermal type things, so maybe that's why I like it as much as I do, but I still thought it was a really awesome place. And after that, we went to Wupatki National Monument, which mainly focuses on these dwellings that are made by Navajo people, I believe. It's similar to Mesa Verde in Colorado, much smaller though. Though I did enjoy seeing these different structures. I got some cool photos that had multiple structures at once. And it is a very nice site as well. Not quite as big as Sunset Crater in terms of the landscape, but we also saw this cool eastern collared lizard. I have a lot of videos of him. He was a very cool animal sighting. I really did enjoy seeing the Wupatki and Sunset Crater Volcano National Monuments. I'd say if you're in northern Arizona, definitely check them out. They're really worth it. They're great places to go. And we continued our drive toward Glen Canyon area. However, the drive there is one of the most diverse and interesting I've ever done. A lot of drives in Arizona, you go through canyons or areas that you did not know existed. But here, we started with these sort of clay mounds that looked like they were petrified forest again. It was a really cool place, and we continued driving, and we found some more desert-like rocks, and the drive keeps getting better from there as the rocks build in size, color, shape, intricacy. I got a lot of photos on the drive, and it was a really nice drive, a long one, but still worth it because of what we got to see. And as we continued along, the unique landscapes got even more unique. It was a really cool drive, going up from Grand Canyon to Glen Canyon. Really nice drive. And one thing I should note is that we went during a pretty bad wildfire in northern rim of Grand Canyon, so we were not able to go to the north rim like we wanted to. We were hoping to see some bison there, because there are actually bison at the Grand Canyon. But it was still a very beautiful drive, and a bit of a surprise we got was being very, very high up on the drive, and actually overlooking the Grand Canyon, north rim from very far above, as seen here. You can see sort of the haze from the fire, but it was a really beautiful sight, and I was surprised we got to see it. And finally, after all of the 4.5 hours of driving or so, we reached Page, Arizona, had lunch, then went to Lake Powell. We stayed at Lake Powell for the night, and it's an otherworldly sight because it's Grand Canyon, but you are at water level, and there's slot canyons and lakes everywhere. There's a dam, all sorts of cool sights. However, the highlight of Glen Canyon, the most beautiful thing there, most well-known probably as well, is Horseshoe Bend. We went at sunset. It is a beautiful sight. I took way too many photos to show them all here, but I really enjoyed it. It's an incredible place to see. There's going to be a lot more of these photos. As the sun sank lower, the colors got even more vibrant. It does get a bit crowded, even in COVID times. We did see this lizard. He was cool. But it's definitely worth getting in. Keep in mind, it is an extra fee to see Horseshoe Bend, but it is a really cool place. I believe it is technically part of the National Recreation area of Glen Canyon, and I'm going to talk a bit more about Glen Canyon in my next video. For now, we just saw Horseshoe Bend, but the next day was maybe even better. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely encourage you to visit all of the places I mentioned. Like the video if you thought it was good. Comment any videos you'd like me to make in the future. Subscribe so you know when I make another video. I appreciate all of your support. I will see you next time.